Yo, what's up everybody? Random Manda here, back with another Palp yellow deck list. This time I took it to a top 4 at a PQ, but this doesn't answer the three main questions. Django, Sabine, Cad, let's find out together. Here's the deck list I was running. Vader, I hardly know her. It's got a lot of one-offs. This is because, more or less, I worked till midnight the Friday before the event. Um, so I had to throw something together at 1 a.m., get 1 hour sleep to wake up 3 o'clock to go to the event because it was a 5 hour drive. Got to make that drive. When I got to the event, I needed to obviously fill out the deck form. Um, a couple of cards I was a bit unsure on, so I just throw in some one-offs to fill it out. So did it work? Can we beat Sabine? Let's dive into the matchups. Then I'll go into card by card, and then I'll tell you how to sideboard. So matchups, we got an Anakin Blue round one. Um, so this worked very well. I haven't lost to an Anakin Blue since Ohio, and I don't plan on losing because of what this deck has to offer in this matchup. We have the Intimidators. We have the perfect exhaust package to make sure Anakin's flip isn't good. We're running the 3 package of Mauls to make sure that if Anakin flips and we've ramped, we're always going to have them all to kill it. And if the game goes longer, we had to steal something earlier. They play a dragon. We've got that one of Merciless contest to kill the dragon. So we're not really scared there. We've got Traitoresses. If they go into Yoda lightsaber, we can take it. We've got the lackeys. So if they Kanan, we've got the kill early. We've got force throw redundancy in the fact that we have Bounty Hunter crew and Palp's returns. So like if you're gonna beat an Anakin, this is the list to do it. You've got everything you need main decked. You don't even really need the sideboard because that's how good of a main deck this is into Anakin. Round 2, I got a Django Tarkentown. This matchup is tough. Don't kid yourself, but it's definitely winnable. Especially since I had a couple of one-off sideboard cards that really clutched up. But the main importance here is Cad Bane. He can steal everything they put out. Another thing that's pretty good is again the exhaust package. Sideboard, this is when this matchup becomes pretty easy. You're going to sideboard in the McClunky package. All of a sudden their threats are kind of irrelevant because McClunky kills everything they do. Salacious Crumb brings back to hand, pings a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff is weak. The turn 1 Tarkin Town is kind of irrelevant. They have Greedos that suck. They've got mercenary gunships that are okay. Like, definitely a winnable matchup. It's tough. What about Sneak Attack Main? What about Change of Heart? Don't worry. We've got Waylays. We've got No Gonna Be Deads. We've got the exhaust package. If they put threats out, we're just going to take them with Change of Heart. And what if they change heart one of our units? It's fine. We've got Waylay, Merciless Contest. So just making sure that nothing they do surprises you on the doorstep. If they're running SIP's new list, like be ready for that. Utilize Crumb. Like it was one of those like you got to balance things out. Because I know SIP's list is running like on the doorstep, sneak attacks main deck. They got the change of heart on the side. You got to be ready for these things, but it is doable. Then I got a Krennic ECL. This was a buddy, so that kind of sucked. That one of us was going to end up being 2-1 and basically having an impossible trip to the top 8. Unfortunately for him, it's a really good matchup for me. Krennic ECL. Game 1, it went pretty much the way you'd want it to go. I got some ramp. It was in a bad position. He played a Snoke. I just took it, and the game was kind of over because I was able to just push so much damage on his 25 HP base. Game 2, he was able to tempo me enough to where I couldn't get a clean flip, and I just kind of died. So whoops, don't do that. Game 3, though, I was able to grab a bunch of sentinels, grab his sentinel, and then just go base a bunch, and he wasn't able to do anything. He saw no real top end. Then I faced a Yoda Green. This one was kind of wild. I was just shocked at like how kind of crazy his list was. He was running Bail Organa, Maz Kanata. He was running those U-Wings to perfect. He's got a lot of techs. Game 1 went fairly smoothly, but then game 2, man, like he must have had like 2 techs, 3 techs, 3 choose sides he brought in out of the board. Obviously the 3 Lukes, 3 U-Wing reinforcements. I think he might have had 2 to 3 home ones. So like that second game, he was able to just keep just yeeting stuff onto the board. A lot of sentinels in front of a lot of buffed units because his deck was running a lot of buffs. So it was really annoying because like I couldn't really deal with any of his threats because they were all behind these 2/2 village protector sentinels and then echo based defenders. So like I kept hitting the wall. I couldn't really steal anything because he wasn't putting anything out. That game went really bad. But then game three was good. It was great. Um, I just became the aggro, and I actually flipped a Palp and stole like an echo-based defender, or it might even have been an Akbar, just to push as much damage as possible, and it worked. I also got a really nice OB. Uh, then I got a sabine ECL. Yikes! Not what you want to see, right? Game one, I got crushed, I think. But here's where that sideboard McClunky package is so goated. When you sideboard against these aggro decks, you should win 2 and 3. I was doing it really well today, or when the event was happening, because you just have such a good turn 1, turn 2 sequence that it's hard for them to get back. And since you're running those 3/5s with the blasters and the syndicate lackeys, you're never tricked into trying to do anything other than putting yourself into a better board state, and then you immediately turn onto the aggro. Essentially, once they use up their ECL, you go boom boom boom, hit base. They've got 25 HP, but they really have like 20 because of all those pings they're doing. So it isn't hard to flip the corner and go gas gas gas. A lot of the times you'll be stabilizing with Walker just to heal so they can't forward cause you, and then you'll just kill them on the following turn. You can sneak attack in a Walker and basically win on the spot. So that's a couple of neat things you can do there. Then I got a CAD Turkentown. Again, I lost game one. Game two was a lot better. And then again, once we sideboarded in our McClunky package, with CAD, a lot of their stuff, same with like the Django Tarkentown deck. I think it's honestly, I don't know which matchup is worse, Django or CAD, because they both do something annoying. CAD is a beefy body, but he comes out a turn later, but like nothing you can do really kills him. But the thing is, he doesn't really do much either. So yeah, just making sure you're not put into a bad position on the CAD flip turn can really help. Then I got a Hamon yellow. At this point, I was 6-0, feeling good. I'm on 1 hour of sleep. So, yeah, this matchup, I would say it's about 50-50, 55-45, depending. Um, Game one, I kind of got cooked. It was one of those, I kept the resupply, and he had the Bodhi, so rip. You just kind of have to hope they don't have it, and he did. Game two, it was really nice. I got a Poggle and a Blaster, which is kind of insane because you kill the turn one, your turn one's still alive. They played another 3/5. Okay, like I still got my 3/4, so like isn't really that big of a deal. And they never really want to go into your units. So yeah, that game I won. And then game three, it was a long drawn out game. He got a DJ off of me, so that kind of sucked. Because I was down a resource. We managed to go into like 11 resources, but I never saw any of the top end I needed. No reinforcement walkers, no devastators. I don't even think I saw Maul really until it was too late. So he was able to just outvalue me with tech and smuggle because I just had nothing and I kind of just died. So 6-1 going into the top eight, second seed obviously. So what did that get me? A Sabine ACL. Yay, my favorite matchup. But unfortunately, no matter where I placed, I was going to get a Sabine because they were 3, 5, 7, and 8. So no dodging Sabine in this tournament, which is good though, because you got to beat Sabine if you're going to play Palp, right? It's a pretty easy matchup. So anyway, 2-1 this Sabine as well. Same recipe for success. You lose game one pretty badly, pretty handedly. You kind of get cooked. You sideboard into that McClunky package. All of a sudden, all the gas is on you. Like I said, your turn ones are great. Your turn twos are great. The Sabine flip turn is manageable. You just always have to make sure. Um, I'll show you in the sideboard guide, but I keep my full ramp package in. I am ramping against Sabine, and you cannot stop me. I will beat you with ramp. Unfortunately, top four, it was another Sabine. This time, I lost game one, like usual. Got my butt handed to me. It wasn't really a game. Game two, like I said, sideboard in that McClunky package. I won. I was gonna win game three, but unfortunately, he had 2 4 causes, and I was slow and I was too slow. I didn't turn the corner fast enough, and those 2 4 causes killed me before I was able to swing, and kill him. So that was a bit annoying. That I was just in action slower than him because he had 2 4 causes. But like I said, main board against aggro, 0-5. I never won game one. After sideboard, I was 9-1. I was, like I said, in action away from being 10-0 against aggro post sideboard. That's kind of insane. So how did we do that? Well, let me just quick show you the sideboard, and then I'll go card by card. What are we pulling out? We're pulling out the 2 Devastators, the Palps Returns, the Mahdi's, the Bounty Hunter Crew, and the Merciless Contest. What are we bringing in? Like I said, I've been saying this whole time, McClunky package. Give me it. So with sideboarding all this in, we're going to have 6 1-drops that are Underworld to utilize McClunky on. But here's the craziest thing. If we don't get the McClunky turn 1, that's perfectly fine because we have the official package as well. So we've got both packages running side by side seamlessly. If we don't get McClunky, we have the official package. We don't get the official package, we have the McClunky package. We've got both, and both was so good. I think I utilized both of them about evenly. I either turn 1 McClunkied or I went, Poggle or scanning into Emperor's Royal Guard. Both worked great. Basically, both mean that the opponent's turn 1 is useless. And both are better into a certain hand that the Sabine player has. But even it's crazy. Like you can go like, the McClunky turn 1, play the 3/5 on 4. You can go official into like no good to me dead. That's not bad either. And then on 5 you have the lackeys to kind of clean up. Then they play Poe. Maybe you barrage, maybe you waylay, maybe you just change your heart to Poe. There's a lot of different things you can do. You've got, again, you always have McClunky, Crumb in your back of your hand, but then you also have the Sentinels when it comes to late games, because the Sentinels will prevent the Cassians from attacking. So like, there's basically everything you need whenever you need it. So that's really, really good. Before I show you the rest of the sideboard, I'm going to quick run down the whole list card by card to give you a more in-depth analysis of what my game plan was. Like I said, the majority of the time you're going to be, what does this do into aggro? So the Intimidators, what does it do into aggro? Well, it's a 1/4. We can put a blaster on it to make it a 3/4. It'll exhaust the defender. It maths really nicely. It's good into Han. It's good into leaders. This card is good. I've been playing this over Greedo lately. Greedo has like, it's kind of iffy, right? Because if you're going into a lot of Tarkin Town, Greedo sucks because they'll just ping the Greedo, it dies, it's irrelevant. But on the flip hand, Greedo is really good because you can play the Greedo, sack the Greedo, ping off a shield, kill the unit. So like if people are running a lot of 2/2 shieldeds, Greedo's insane. I went with the more sturdy, safe 1/4 exhaust the defender, good into Han, so we'll run it. I'm running 1 Crumb in the main. Like I said, we got 3 into the sideboard that we basically always bring in. Crumb's amazing. I might mainboard 3 of these next time. Very good. I got 1 Admiral Monty in the main. This is to do some crazy shenanigans on the Palp flip turn. Whether it be like Palp, Blaster, Mahdi, 12 damage to base, draw a card for 5, which leaves you obviously with 3 up. So you can go like, you flip Palp, you put a guard in front of Palp, so that they can't do anything about your Palp. You play the Mahdi, you're already threatening to reset, but then you give the Palp a blaster, so you do 6, you reset the Palp, you do 6, 12 damage, draw a card, do all the fun stuff, protect the Palp. Now it's a 6 damage Palp going into the next turn, but it's safe because the guard's in front of it. So on the 8th turn, you can do a lot of fun stuff with Palp and Mahdi, whether you put it, if you had like a Maul the previous turn, or even on the flip turn, you can sneak attack a Maul, flip the Palp, play the Mahdi, sack the Mahdi to the Maul after the Maul already hit, 4, 7, 7, 4, 18 damage to base. Not many decks, like especially Target Town decks, they just insta-fold to that amount of damage on the flip turn. 3 Bazines. This is great. This is incredible. It takes out Wreckers. 3 Poggle the Lesser. Like I said, I was running the official package. And Poggle's the best official. You want Palp? This is Palp on a stick. You'll always have droids. 3 Scanning Officers. This is actually just good. Even if Han isn't there, it's still a 2/3 official that can completely blow out decks. It blows out techs. It blows up, Cassians, Timelies, which are big into the Sabine matchup anyway. So like a turn 1 Scanning Officer is fine. It's even better if you hit a Timely or a Cassian that they resource for no reason and they have no turn 1. You just kind of win on the spot. So Scanning Officer allows you to have those moments that other decks have where they're like, oh, well, if I play this, I just win. That's kind of your thing against these smuggle decks. Since we're running the official package, of course, we're going to be running Emperor's Royal Guard. It's a 3/5. It's good into Sabine, but what's even better, it's good into Tarkin Town decks. It gets even better when you put a blaster on it. Having a 3/5 on 3, going to the 4 resource turn, being able to put a blaster on it, kill something, tech, DJ, killable. Craziest thing with DJ is, if they tech into DJ, this is your answer to tech into DJ. This Pulse Blaster kills DJ with 3 resources open. That's something they really can't come back from because they just spent their whole shenanigans, they used it all up, but you got your resource back. Everything's fine. You've got lackeys on the next turn. You're in control. So Emperor's Royal Guard is insane. You can put the blaster, attack Sabine with it. Like, this is good value. We're running 3 super laser techs. I wouldn't cut any of these. I'll always run these. Three Syndicate Lackeys. This is for Sabine and for Han, as you see, redundant. Redundant threats against those at the 5 HP threshold. It kills Sabine on the flip turn if you've ramped. Otherwise, it kills Tech, it kills DJ, it kills Liberated Slaves. A lot of decks running 3/5s. This kills them all cleanly. It kills the Sundari Peacekeepers, it kills the Cassian Andors of the world. Like, this is just good. One Bounty Hunter crew to get back a lot of my events. Like I said, I'm running a lot of 1-ofs. This allows me to essentially have 2-ofs, but whenever I want them, I value it a bit higher than running 2 of any of them, of the events, I mean. 2K Banes, this guy's crazy good into aggro, specifically the aggro that goes to space. Steal 3 space units, that's really good. It stabilizes really efficiently. It's basically your checkmate card, really, where like you get into positions where like sometimes when you're playing Palp, you're like, oh man, I have an answer for this, but not an answer for that. I got an answer for this, but I don't got an answer for that. Cad Bane is the universal answer. There's nothing they play that doesn't get answered by Cad Bane, so it's great. Um, there's no sneak attack play. There's no ready, like there's nothing that can surprise you that Cad Bane can't just vacuum up with his vacuum cleaner, because he likes keeping the board clean. That's what Cad Bane does. 3 Mauls. Like I said, since I'm not running any Vaders, we got to run the best 7-drop besides Cad Bane. That's Maul. He kills every leader efficiently, cleanly, stays alive. Is great when you start to swing base. He doesn't even take damage because we're running part of the Underworld package. We still have Underworld units for that ability, so it's not a total loss. So yeah, he's insane. Because you can kill Anakin cleanly, you can kill Han cleanly, you can kill Quinlan cleanly, you can kill Django cleanly. Like every leader that does any, like Krennic, you can kill cleanly. Kira, you can kill like just everything. It kills everything cleanly, which is something that Vader can't do. Vader is a 5/7. He's good, but he doesn't kill leaders as cleanly as Maul. Then we're running 3 Reinforcement Walkers. Healing is especially good in Palp. Healing on a stick, redundant healing, is super good. This is also insane with sneak attack. That's why I was running one sneak attack, because sneak attacking this just kind of wins you a game into any of these target down decks. It presents 12 damage with a 6 damage heal. That's an 18 damage. That's a 18 damage swing right there. That's kind of insane. So that'll basically win you the game on the spot. 3 elite P38s. These kill buffed wing leaders or wing leader buffed units, and they also kill falcons. That's all they're here for. Plus side, wait for it, they also ping with Palp. So a double ping on Palp. Like this is just good. Especially later into the game, you can make this 2-for-1 trades, 3-for-1 trades. Like this is really, really good. 2 Devastators. 3 felt a bit much to me, so I ran just 2. It's good. It closes out games efficiently. It makes sure you don't lose games you shouldn't. And it's my number 1 OB buddy. So what about events? Like I said, that's a quick jump in the space around space arena. We got 3 no good to me deads. This is the universal. Oh no. Stabilizer. Han flips, tap it down. There's a sneak attack with this waiter. Tap it down. Falcon, tap it down. I can't deal with this threat. I gotta draw something, but they have the initiative. Tap it down. Like when in doubt, tap it out. Sneak attack main, like I said, this is really good with the reinforcement walker. You'll pretty much never play it on anything else because you just want 6 heal right away. 1 merciless contest, as I was explaining, this is basically for dragons. You need something that answers threats cleanly. This answers anything that they play as long as they play 1, which a lot of times late game decks are playing 1 threat, so this cleans it up. There's also certain scenarios against Sabine where like you McClunky their turn 1, they play a red 3, you just merciless contest the red 3, you go into the flip turn, you're feeling not great, but not bad either. And like maybe you have a scanning officer, you hit their Cassian, now they only have 3 resources, they can't K2, they can't Darksaber, so they play Wing Leader, but then going to be dead Sabines. Like there's scenarios where like this isn't actually half bad into Sabine. I'd take it out against Sabine, as you saw. But yeah, it's not necessarily all bad game 1. 3 resupplies, goaded, it's ramp. 1 Waylay, it bounces a lot of the threats. It's essentially like a no good to me dead, except I can't run 4 no good to me deads for some reason. So there's another one. 1 OB. My logic behind the 1 OB was the fact that I'm basically never playing OB on 5, and I'm basically never playing it on 6. And if I'm not playing it on 5, and I'm not playing it on 6, and well on 7 I'm mauling or Cad Baning, that means it's on 8. And if it's on 8, or if it's on 11 after my Devastator, I don't need to run 3 copies because it's a late game card. This is essentially an 11 drop, an 8 drop. Like I'm not playing this early so I don't need a bunch of copies to make sure I have it early. I need the one, I need the one, and I need it when I need it. And Palp allows me to draw to always have the OB. Hopefully when I need it. There's a couple of times where a two would have been nice. But I still like the concept behind only running one OB, especially with players who are trying to play around OB because they're so used to Palp running OBs, especially three. They would usually like try to trade into my units, but it's fine. I wasn't planning on OBing anyway, so I wasn't trying to set up an OB. So they kind of did my job for them by making positive trades in the end. So that was my thought behind the 1 OB. Two Change of Hearts. This was essentially my game plan into everything. This card is goaded. What's not to like about stealing units, especially units that are big and hit hard? This I still pose, wreckers, anything that deals damage, I will take. This is also really good until like if they sneak attack, you can just take it, hit them with it, and then like if you have to sack it, great. But other than that, it already did more than what it was supposed to do. One of Palp's returned. This is basically think of it as another Cad Bane and another Maul, maybe another Devastator, but really that was my goal. More Mauls, more Cad Banes, more Devastators, but I couldn't decide which one I wanted to run three of, or four of in this case, so I just ran a post return. You can also get it back with Bounty Hunter Crew, so like if games go late, five Mauls is kind of crazy, four Devastators kind of crazy, especially in the main deck. Most decks don't have that type of top end. MVP right here, Hotshot, DL44 Blaster. Wow, no way! As I was explaining it with the units you would use it on, this is just always good. It maths out cleanly, efficiently. It races. It makes the when you're trying to flip and close out the game, it makes the math so much easier when you're like, oh yeah, I got two extra damage. You have two of these, you have four extra damage in the back of your hand whenever you're trying to race after the stabilization. So like this is just good. I it's honestly tempting to go to three of these because like you just always want it in the back of your hand to cleanly answer stuff. Two traders this is goaded as well. Traders is in a really good spot right now. Especially it's fine if they run upgrade hate in the board. Like there was decks that ran confiscate and disabling Fang Fighter and both, and I literally didn't I don't care. Like I'm never gonna get blown out by you blowing up my traders, unless it's Sabine with Poe ECL. That's why you don't do that into Sabine Poe ECL. But yeah, it's always good, especially game one. It is another card that's kind of like free winnable. If they super laser attack, you re-slide, you traders to super laser attack, you kind of just win on the spot. There's a couple of times where you can steal Falcons, you can steal buffed up units, whether it be A-Wing or someone putting a lightsaber or a dark saber on something, buff it up, swing, win. Um, Sideboard, one Intimidator that we bring in against aggro, three McClunkies that we bring in against aggro, two Crumbs to fill out our three to bring in against aggro. The one out maneuver, clutched up. Um, Again, this is more or less a flex spot. I'm not like, you better be playing out maneuver or you're going to lose. But it was good into the deck that that was the reason it was in there, and it worked exactly like I wanted it to. And then, of course, redundant threats, Palp's Return, just another one, another Devastator, and then a 1 over Relentless for that hard control matchup. So like I said, game one, we should be favored into any mid-range deck. And we shouldn't even have to even really sideboard into the mid-range decks. If we want to, we can add in the three at the bottom, taking out more of the aggro stuff. But like game one, we should be absolutely set to dominate any mid-range deck. It depends on how much they value the Pelt matchup that we need to then adjust our strategies for that game three if they win game two because of how much they brought in that we may or may not have been expecting. In this case, like the Yoda Green, they were running a lot of like choose sides. Okay, how do we beat that into game three? So that's one of those things where like the main deck, I was very satisfied with it into the mid-range matchup. Into the aggro matchup, as you saw in my breakdown, it was poor. The main deck sucked. But once we sideboarded and corrected all the issues, we were able to cleanly get the W's that we needed to get. So the question is, well, what do we do about hard control? There's a couple of them out there. They should be non-existent past this weekend because Han destroys it utterly. But if it is there, you just take out Barrage and Waylay, you side in the three McClunkies, Devastator, Palps, Return, Relentless, and it should be no issue. You're running 53 in the main, so you're taking two out, you're bringing six in, so you're running a 57 card deck into hard control. It's kind of hard for them to beat you because you're going to be playing so many threats. Three Devastators, three Reinforcement Walkers, three Mauls, two Cads, the Bounty Hunter crew with two Palps returns to get the back, the McClunkies to bounce back the Bounty Hunter crew so you can get back the Palp's returns like redundant threats. We just keep slamming the board with crap. We have a lot of one drops so that we can go one drop into nine drop. So like you can go Crumb into Relentless. Now they can't power. Now they can't, like, they just can't kill it unless they have a direct kill spell. Now they need to use two. When they do that, guess what? We Palp's return, and then we play another one drop. You can side in the whole, like, there's just, it's hard obviously for hard control to beat us. That is the point of playing Palp. So what did I learn? I learned that Sabine is totally winnable. Like I said, I beat two out of three, and I almost would have went 3 for 3 on Sabine. Um, so yeah, it's not as bad as a matchup as I think it is, but it is still a bad matchup. Like I said, I was really respecting it with the whole McClunky and official package. I wanted everything that I could get to beat Sabine. You could even go one step further and go, let's bring Confiscate into the matchup to make sure they can't Darksaber us. Han 1 is goaded. You'll see it. It will be at the top tables. If you're at the top tables, you have to be ready for it. Is it winnable? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. DJ exists, and your leader deploys on 8. Enough said. Another thing is to keep them guessing with the Palp list. Don't be predictable. Palp is one of the best leaders. Where being unpredictable is best. Because they don't know what's coming, and a lot of my opponents didn't know what was coming, and it greatly benefited me. My Sabine opponents were not ready for me to be winging out blasters. That's good. Like, they're not ready for that. That helps me. And a lot of 1-0s when we went into the top 8, it was like, how do you prep for all of my 1-0s? What about sneak attack? What about Madi? Like, maybe I sideboard in, maybe I sideboard out. Like, what am I doing with the deck list? Like I said, no Vaders, 1-0B. Can you do, like, how do you play around that? Like, I only got one of it. Do I have it? Who knows? So mind games. Mind games is the best thing you can do with Palp, especially when, like, I was running Palp's return main deck. Like, oh no, you discard a card from me. I Palp return played earlier. Like, there's a lot of neat things you can do with the deck list I had to play mind games with my opponents to essentially have a second angle of attack when it came to the matchups. But the MVPs really were Cad Bane, Change of Heart, and the Hotshot Deal 44 Blaster. All of these were great in different reasons, but all of them great because they helped out the aggro matchup, but they also helped out in the other matchups. So like these are 3 cards that honestly I don't think I'm going to be cutting any less than 2 of in my future Palp lists. They're good, and what makes them so good is they're universally good, and that's a perk. A lot of the times Palp you want to be running 1-0s that are good into a lot of things, but then these things will always be good. You will never have one of these in your research row or in your hand and be like, wow, I wish it was something else. But yeah, if you have any questions, like usual, you can put them in the comments. I got a really new spicy list, which coming up, which will again change the perspectives of how people might go into my Palp, which is something I like, because you can't be predictable, keep them guessing, and that's what I've got with my next list. I may or may not be running Vaders and OBs again. Who knows? Maybe I'm playing more out of aspect stuff. That's the cool thing about this game is there's really no predictability unless you're running Sabine. But if you're running Sabine, you know who you are. You suck. I'm just kidding. I love you all. Bye.